Hi everybody, we're back. We're on day 59, and this one should excite you today because it says, I will not be held back. And maybe you just need to declare that right now. I will not be held back. So we're going to talk about this. There is nothing, absolutely nothing this world has to offer that is worth giving up or exchanging what God has for you. This breaks my heart more than anything else that I have seen in the church, where people will exchange pleasure, temporary treasure for the path that God has for their life. It breaks my heart, and I can imagine if it breaks my heart, how it makes the Father feel, because He so orchestrated your life from the moment of conception, where He wrote out every day of your life and the way that you should go and the calling, and He puts the gifts and the talents in you to match it, and has this amazing top-notch road for you to walk and to live out. And as we go along our journey, we get distracted by some pleasure, by some treasure, and in those moments we say, God, I want this more than what you have for me. I want this more because this is satisfying me. This is, and you get into this place of deception, like, this is all I need. God, if you would just, and how many times have we said that? Thank God, God didn't answer all my prayers that were totally out of whack years ago. And He's shut the door because I thought I wanted something so bad, or I thought that's all I needed. Like, God, if you would just give me this, and I'll never ask you for anything else. If you would just give me this, this will satisfy me. And they're not satisfying. Praise God, I at least had enough learning in me to always get to a place, but not my will, your will be done. And if this is not what you have for me, or not what you want from me, even though it's something I think I really want right now, if it's not the best, then close the door. And so many times, God has shut the door, and I'm so offended by God. I'm like, how dare you shut the door? And He's like, but you gave me free will permission to come in and shut the door. And I did. And thank God, because I look back at some of those doors that He closed, and I'm like, oh, my life would be so not in the path that He's ordained for me if I would have went down those paths. And so if I can encourage you today about anything, is don't take a temporary pleasure or a temporary treasure and exchange it for the path that God has for your life, for the calling that God has for your life. Because you know what always raised like a holy reverential fear to the Lord is that I know that I am going to stand before my Father one day and give an account of the decisions I made, and I'm going to have to account for the path that He has given me and whether I've walked it out or not. And so that really keeps me going, and I'm like, I don't want to stand before the Father and Him be like, yeah, I blessed your life and you had a good life, but you didn't do all the things that I called you to do. Actually, you did way less. I never want to hear that. And so every day I purpose to the best of my ability to go in the direction that God has for me. And so I encourage you to do that also. Do whatever you have to do to break the things that hold you back, because they're not worth it. He is worth it, and so are you. You are worth fighting for. You are worth every step that God has ordained for you. So don't settle. Don't settle for temporary treasures or pleasures. Don't settle for those things. Just go on and fight for the things that God has for you. Even though it may not satisfy you in the morning, the long-term treasure will satisfy you. 2 Corinthians 10:4-5 in the NIV, the weapons we fight with are not weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. Remember, everything that you're seeing and receiving isn't always God ordained or God based. The enemy is always trying to derail your path, and he will even set up assignments to derail your path. Stay close to the Lord, lay those things down, and do the things that the Father has for you. There's no better way. Have a great day, family.